Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the Grey Zone with Ali Manzoor, a show where we challenge assumptions, stereotypes, viewpoints on various complex issues, and hopefully foster critical thinking. With us today is Dr. Ashar Jamili, Head of Department and Associate Professor at Sir Syed Dental Gum Disease Department. He holds a BDS degree and completed his Masters in Clinical Dentistry from Queen's Mary University, London, Barts and London Hospital. Pursued FCPS Part 2 in Orthodontic Dentistry from Aga Khan University Hospital. A distinguished record of numerous publications and lectures and workshops both nationally and internationally. He's also authored a book on dentistry. He's also teaching undergrad and postgraduate students in gum diseases. He supervises MDS and MS candidates. Ashar, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm going to jump right into it. I'm really fascinated by all your achievements and your charisma. So tell me, is dentistry a boring profession?
Not really. It has its highs and its lows, in like any other profession. But the high is that when you see people, when you alleviate their ailment and all of that, so that's the best. Lows are probably long hours sometimes, and people always haggling sometimes over money. So those are some of the lows, yeah.
Okay. So usually doctors and dentists are keen to go abroad. What keeps you in Pakistan?
So what I have is a niche. I did my training in London, and so this was at Queen Mary at the Royal London Hospital. So this particular thing about gum diseases, there aren't so many in Pakistan. So when I did go abroad, the idea was to gather all the acumen I have and get all that, and then to come back here and disseminate that knowledge, which I think has helped. It has been a great experience doing that, and that's why I would also try to inculcate this, that anybody who has something unique should try to come back here and try to spread that knowledge as much as possible.
So I'm getting a feeling of a lot of patriotism from you when I'm talking to you. Is that also so?
Yes, I think that we do lack that, if we see things nowadays, but I feel that it's about time that we start bringing that back.
Okay, so let's talk about smiles. Pakistan is a rich country in terms of dental issues. What are your observations and which segments of our society are most affected?
So, regarding gum diseases, what happens is there are people who are diabetic, and that is on the rise because we are completely, our diet is completely over the roof. Everybody indulges in all sorts of sugar and all sorts of weird, full of glucose, full of oil, full
Okay.
of
Toxic
yeah,
elements?
which is completely which can destroy any sort of no, anything which we want like something normal. It's not happening that way, and then when that happens, your sugar levels can also spike and all that, and heart disease and all of those other things also happen. But what happens is type 2 diabetes is one of the things which happens, and then that affects gum disease. Other than that, if people don't brush, they brush every leap year. There's some people, believe it or not,
They
I've
brush every
had
leap year, every four
some some
years.
some people I have seen. So you see, these are
This is
the
31st of February,
so
right?
so you have these, believe it or not, like it could be a Ripley, believe it or not, if you really want to indulge into something. I've had people, because that knowledge, that basic education is lacking, and again, so many things need to be brought into light that way, and that has to be looked into, that that basic twice a day, and then flossing is like everybody thinks that that's you need a PhD for that. Those are simple things, but they don't follow that.
So I'm going to say, which segment of our society, if we were to, the upper segment or middle segment or what, how do you think?
So it's more into the lower segment, which and most of our significant amount is falling under that. So if they're not following that, so the masses need to be educated, and this has to be becoming more and more. The the highlight has to be thrown into that if our media can try to focus into it, try to make this into something which people can understand more.
Okay, but I see a lot of and quack dentists around as well on the road. If you look around you, if you see around us, even in Karachi, there's so many quack dentists or people who claim to be dentists or roadside dentists that don't have sterilized equipment, that don't have the infrastructure, and yet a lot of people are going to them. What's your view there?
So this is supposedly very scary, and if somebody who does not sterilize, so because obviously if they're not they're quacks, so then that's the first thing which we start with, hepatitis and all of the diseases which come with it that can spread, and the other thing is the expertise. They would have no idea what they're doing, and then you would have all sorts of diseases spreading and all sorts of mal. There's no malpractice law over here. There's no like proper like where you would sue somebody or something. So they can get away with anything. So it is a predicament in that sense.
Okay, so Dr. Bill Doffman said, "You're never fully dressed without a smile." But as I look into it, I see it's very difficult to seep in because I see people around us who are unaware of stained teeth or mouth odor. So, what's your take on that?
So yes, there are some people who as I said, if it's every leap year they brush, then you would definitely faint in front of them if they open their mouth and things like that. So, and there was also somebody who just said that they were got rejected because they didn't have a good smile and it was all yellow and everything. So, we are into things where awareness is completely at a paramount. Everybody, because of the internet, because of everybody knows things, and yet if they don't, that's probably a very sad thing. So what I would say is that it is something which has to be important and has to be looked into.
Okay, so I came across a very fun fact. Bones are made of collagen and calcium phosphate. Teeth are made of enamel, dentin, and cementum. We take a lot of care not to fracture the 206 bones in our body. So, why don't our 32 teeth also get that kind of attention?
So this is just something which I would also say that if you should look into and make sure that if you're not eating well or you're not looking well or not chewing well, then obviously then you're at a disadvantage. You would have gastric issues because you're not chewing well. Aesthetically, if somebody is at a disadvantage. So these issues are things which should not be taken into a back burner. They need to be at a front foot. And simple things like brushing or like interdental brushes or flosses, they're not something which are out of the blue. They have been and should be inculcated and need to be affected and bring into practice.
Smoking, gutka, mawa, alcohol, and tea have all become so intense, and their consumption in our society is so rampant. So, I want to ask you, as a dentist, are you fighting bad habits or are you fighting traditions?
This is the third thing which I was about to talk about. We spoke about diabetes, we spoke about oral hygiene, and then smoking. Yes, so this is also something to do which can cause gum disease and not. I mean, there. That's just a Pandora's box. You see, you're opening up so many other things which are coming with it. You have cancer, you have all of that, and then so these things they have to be looked into, and but there's no check and balance for that.
Okay, I'm going to come across another fun fact for you. According to Pakistan's Sugar Association 2023 report, Pakistan averages about 26 kg of sugar per person per year. Do we really need to revisit our lifestyle choices? You did talk about diabetes, but 26 kgs of sugar per person per year, that's a lot.
Like a bottle would have like 9 or 10
A cola bottle.
sugar, yeah, the amount of sugar content, and then that's also being consumed like it's there's no tomorrow. So you see, these things again, checks and balances. We don't want obesity. We want Well, okay, it's good to see paddle courts opening up. That helps, but also awareness at the same time, so we can have a balance of both. So we can also prevent things. Prevention is key right now. It's like you save so many millions of rupees if you don't, if you make sure that you're not consuming too much sugar, you're not getting into the diabetes, you're not having a heart attack or any of that. So it's all about prevention. You have to start from the grassroots. Then overall, then you can have a good savior.
Just Ashar, I was looking at some marketing statistics lately, and there's been a rising trend that you will go to, let's say, Parchun ki dukaan, you make a small purchase, and your change is 5 rupees or 4 rupees. So they'll give you toffees, or they'll give you sweets, or they'll give you something like that. While that is good for business, what's your take as a dentist on that?
So if somebody is doing that, it kind of in a very indirect way, it's bringing business to us, because obviously if the more sugar, candy, whatever they're gonna have, they'll have, and if they don't brush, then heaven help us, it's going to cause all the various pain and all whatever later, as because if it's all being so easily given to everybody. So yeah, there's something. Just give back the money properly. Do not give sugar. Do
So
not
you
give
would
things like that.
discourage this at a more serious level?
Yes, it doesn't sound good.
So my next question is going to be a little heavy on stats, so you'll have to be a little patient with me here. According to Journal of Contemporary Dental Practice 2019 research states that gutka, mawa, and smokeless tobacco users are 5 times more likely to develop cancer. Further, a 2018 study from Ziauddin University states that gutka, mawa, betel quid are leading risk factors for oral cancer in Pakistan. International Journal of Community Medicine and Public Health Research 2025 article states that 68% of university students are vaping and they think it's completely safe. What do you think we need to do now?
So this is a very important and a thing which it's great that you have all these figures and they're very accurate. And we are all into scientific studies, and nothing beats the literature, where that's how we know that these are facts. So what happens is, if you have children who are having gutka, mawa, and all that, and what happens is that that changes the texture in your gum, and that basically accelerates it. So you have collagen, and that turns into like a leather sort of thing. And that's the start of it. And then what happens is, then it becomes completely over time. There's some enzymes which come about, and then that causes that same gum, which is supposed, and the tissue, which is the cheek and all that. Those are normal texture, but then they become into leather-like. And then from leather-like, they transform into something which is very hard. And then that can lead towards cancer and all that.
Okay, so the first stages or the pre stages of cancer is when it becomes leather like inside the mouth, and
Yes,
the primary cause is gutka, mawa, naswar.
yes. And so when the first warning signs is that the mouth isn't opening so much and it's becoming very hard and all that, and then slowly that starts turning reddish, which is where it's like a very big warning sign. And then there comes a time where there's no coming back, and it can also spread as well. And so these things are something where, first of all, again, uh, these things should be banned. They That's the first thing. And if the government and everybody takes a strong stand, then this is the only way. We all have to be on the same page for this. And as far as vaping, as you again, this is some people thought that this was an alternate to smoking, and you see that they are all hooked on smoking. And again, this is another way of they have an escape, or whatever the means, or whatever the reason why they're doing it. But the thing is that it causes the same. It Vaping, they say that there's a popcorn lung which can happen. So similarly, if
What's a
there
popcorn lung?
so it is something where your lung becomes irreversibly has some sort of pathology. So everybody thought that this was the alternate, but unfortunately, no. This is again another issue which is going to be a rising issue. So it has to be avoided
So
as well.
coming to this, since we're talking about oral cancer primarily, right? I wanted to know that you talked about prevention, and that obviously is the first step. But assuming that people who are in it or who are in the middle of it but not yet in that stage, can you just take me to the process of chemotherapy, radiation, what is known as a mouth lock? What else has to happen? Someone was telling me you have to cut their teeth off as well. So can you just take us through that process?
All of these, so this is when it comes when you've taken a biopsy and you know for sure that this it is cancer. You know that okay, it's irreversible and it's there now. So there are times where when this disease can spread to the other areas, and there are different stages: stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Stage 4 is when every that disease has spread and gone all around the body, and that is the worst when it comes to that. So again, if we know, if we are towards the earlier stages, or that is where so first thing, yeah, if we can ban it and try to stop everything. If that is not happening, then yeah, this thing happens, and then
So what happens there? Just take me through it. That mouth gets locked. Do you have to cut off the teeth? Please take us through that process.
so if this cancer has grown and that redness has taken place and it has moved towards, we've got a biopsy confirmation that it is squamous cell carcinoma, and it has led to that because it starts with it moves towards there. That's the final thing, squamous cell carcinoma. So if that is happening, then the when it starts leading towards the other areas, the issue now is you need to develop, once that whole area, the cheek or anything which has been destroyed, you need to bring back that same area. And now to bring back, you need to have like a graft from somewhere, and then you have to build up the cheek area because all of that has been affected. You need to remove all of the affected area, and then when you're placing that, then that really is, your
And it
disfigurement.
disfigures your face as well.
Exactly, disfigurement. And so that is a very scary and alarming thing for the person, and everybody else as well, whoever sees that, okay, all of this radical surgeries have to be done. And it is a very scary thing.
Okay, so you're painting a scary picture, assuming that the person watching this show decides to quit vaping today, or quit smoking, or quit gutka, naswar, pan, mawa, whatever it is, right? How long before the oral health starts improving again?
So the best part is if you see there if smoking, if you stop smoking, for example, so what happens is, first of all, the blood supply and everything which had been hampered, so that starts coming back again. So you see, nature has a way, God has made things in such a paramount way that things start getting normal. So you see, if you would be on a mend, you stop, your smoking. If you have your smoke cessation, you have alternates, nicotine patches, then you will be mending. You will be mending slowly, and a lot of the things, like, things will start getting better. And even if you stop your gutka and all that, which is causing that hardness of the gingiva and the cheek area and all that, so that also, at least it won't start going towards that red area. It'll stop. And once that
So you're
stops,
saying basically, even if he stopped today, good things can start happening.
there is a chance, because and this again happens, that if you are regular with going to a dentist, people do not show, again, they are very irregular. So again, that's where it comes, when you once you have a once a year or 6 months checkup. If there's something sinister, then at least you can keep a check on it. You can know that, okay, so this is another important point where, to do not take it lightly. Try to be as regular and religious.
Okay, so दूध के दांत हैं वो तो वैसे ही गिर जाएंगे. So do we really need to take care of milk teeth?
So what happens is you do not take care of them, and what happens is then you end up with all the teeth being all crooked later on, and then that's when the bills start piling up, and you get a big, massive heart attack when you say, okay, there's an orthodontist who wants to bill you a certain amount, and then everybody is very questionable. They're like, why is this so much? And it's because, okay, all of the child's baby teeth fell out early, and they thought at that moment it was not a biggie, but it turned out to be something
So
else.
we're on children, right? So 2021 UNICEF survey found that 80% of Pakistani children aged between the age of 6 and 12 years had never visited a dentist. Uh, do you think we need a national dental healthcare system, or do we need brands and NGOs to step up so that we can increase reach and penetration to the younger ones?
I think a bit of everything. Yeah, like if we keep having checkups like community dentistry, if they have checkups in school, and like people who keep going and having an awareness, and talking about it, disseminating, talking about knowledge, and then at the same time, yes, we need media, we need print, we need all of that, which would be highlighting and giving everybody that knowledge to try to understand, because half of the time a lot of things are not understood.
So I'm going to conclude this show, and I really want to thank you for coming here. And I think today's show was very informative. You gave us a lot of knowledge and insights on dental health, oral hygiene, brushing, even stopping gutka and mava because the positive effects can begin. And I hope that this message goes positively across, especially to our younger generation, and they can quit vaping or stop vaping and control vaping and all these habits that are out there. So this was our episode for this week. Till then, till next week, stay curious, stay critical, and keep asking questions.